MyMac Podcast 962, Lack of Vision.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac podcast. Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last week or so, pre-orders for Apple's Vision Pro started on Friday, January the 19th. Are you ready for all the hype and whining? Well, too bad. It's likely going to be all you hear in tech circles for the next month or two. We promise that this show will be the last you hear about it from us. Or maybe we'll likely be gushing and or complaining about it too. Won't we, Guy?
Yeah. Oh, that was the wrong one. There we go.
Can we just carry on without you going, yeah, or maybe that was the wrong one?
Yeah.
Because nobody has a clue who's listening to this podcast what the hell you're talking about.
The 6 or 7 people that watch this video presentation that I spend hours and hours creating
and
for
they
YouTube.
won't care. They won't care either. They'll just be going, get on with it. Like they probably are now.
Will they really? Will they really?
How are you?
I'm doing okay. Well, mostly.
Mostly clean.
Mostly clean. Remember I was telling you last week that after my visit to the fake eye guy, Neil, which is his name, and he's actually a very nice
Neil,
guy.
the fake eye guy. Right.
Neil, the fake eye guy. He put on some more material onto the prosthetic eye because he thought it looked too small.
Yep.
And after that, I started having some issues with it suddenly going bloop, popping out.
Bleep.
So, bloop. So last
Is that
Monday,
the noise it makes? Is that the
it
noise
does.
it makes with it?
In my head. In my head. That's what I hear. Anybody else that's hearing it, sorry, that's on you.
Though actually, if you think about it, if you tap on the side of your face, it does make quite a funny noise in your head, you see, but nobody else would hear it. So, you could well be right in that it makes that sound.
Yeah, it could be. There could be a bloop in there.
Head.
Yeah, in my head. That's the only place that I'm right, guys. That's where it all works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went to see him last Monday and told him about the issue or issues. And what he basically did was scraped off some from the back of it to make it thinner. He didn't want to take anything off of it because, and this is what he told me, he says, the problem is adding more stuff to it the first time is not a problem. Adding more stuff to it after that is a problem because now you're adhering to something that's adhered to the original thing. So he was very reluctant to take anything off that made it actually smaller, though he did take some off of the back to make it thinner. So after all of that, it's still generating some discomfort in the way that it's still watering up. But I'm going to deal with that for now because I think my eye has to, or the socket has to adjust to it.
Yeah.
And there may only be so much that can be done without creating a whole nother eye. And that's very, very expensive. Mega bucks. Also, I am finally caught up. I swear to God. Over at vertshark.com, if you go there, you will see links. I know, amazing, to all of the videos that have been created. And the Guy's Daily Drive podcast feed is also all caught up. So if you're subscribed to the Daily Drive podcast feed, you got last week like 10 new podcasts, but they weren't really new. They were just the ones that I was supposed to be putting in there all along. And I have to say,
that's not how the YouTube, that's not how it doesn't matter how much you promise here. It doesn't matter how much apologizing and creeping and crawling that you do here to the listeners. The YouTube algorithms don't care about that.
No,
what
really
they want
don't.
is for you to be regular videos of at least 10 minutes up to the web.
Well,
right?
ours are a lot longer than 10 minutes.
You see, you're not adhering to the YouTube algorithm. That's why you've only got
Well, you know what I say to
two
the YouTube
people
algorithm?
watching.
Go
That's
and
you.
no, I'm not going to finish that sentence. But I am all caught up with all of those, and I swear I am not going to let it happen again. I promise. Of course, I also promised I wouldn't buy any microphones last year, and we all know how that worked out. As a matter of fact, Gaz, speaking of microphones,
Which we weren't.
we weren't, but I brought it up. Dave Hamilton of the Mac Geek Gab.
Oh, Dickie
tweeted
Dave.
out, yeah, tweeted out a really, really nice USB microphone that he uses for his office. And it was down from $179 to $39. And I
That's
bought it.
quite a big drop, isn't it?
It
You
is.
didn't.
It is.
You didn't
I did.
buy it.
It hasn't come yet. I don't have it yet. It's going to come sometime next week. But it was like, damn you, Hamilton. I'll get my revenge. I'll meet you in person and force you to come on to this podcast.
That fight I'd like to see, to be honest with you, because Dave Hamilton's quite a tall guy, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, he's like 6'1", 6'2", I think.
Yeah, I think he's, yeah.
I mean, I still kind of tower over him, or unless you're Carl Madden, I pretty much tower over most people. Carl's actually taller than me.
Is he?
How dare he?
Yeah, well.
Carl, get shorter. If you're listening to this show...
He can't. That's why he can't get on planes, though, because he's too big, you see. They can't get him through the doorway.
Well, no, I get it. It's why I'm bald, because I keep hitting my head on the top of door sills.
Anyway, my stuff this week has
tell me.
Mainly been stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm currently on antibiotics because after the little episode I've had over the last, with the tube being pulled out, remember that one? Oh,
yes. Thank you.
Anybody not
you reminded me of anybody that, that visual. Thank you.
Anybody not on YouTube? Yes. Guy cringed inwardly then when I said that.
Whose tube?
YouTube, yeah. Well, it's my tube, to be honest with it. I did get a bit of an infection, so to cover off that and make sure I didn't get any worse, I've been on antibiotics. So it's funny. It's funny, Guy. It's fine.
I'm not laughing. I'm cringing.
Yeah. Well, I went out on the bike yesterday. I thought I've got to get out. I've got to start going out again. I went out and I didn't go on the roads. I went on road, gravel, fields, all sorts of stuff. And it was a real cross-country ride. That could have been a little bit of a mistake because it was quite bumpy. And there were, but I got over it.
Still did 20 miles.
No, I only did 17 and a half. So
only 17 and a half. Okay. Sorry. I kind of jumped to conclusions there. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a bit slower going over. So many gates. I had so many gates to get through. Incredible. I lost count after about 20.
Yeah. Did you name any of them?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, because one is named Bill.
No, Bill. No, I didn't start going through his children. No, that's not even close to a dad joke, to be perfectly honest with you, is it?
No, it's not.
Anyway, I've done very little on MyMac this week. Can let me just play this because it says
my Mac.
Yeah. So I've done very little on
my Mac
this week.
Wait a minute. That was John F. Braun, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah. All right.
I went on the bike ride. I said I'm on antibiotics. Went to a party, one birthday party last weekend.
Nice.
Going to another party tonight, which is that was my daughter's partner, and tonight is my daughter. Next week is Mrs. Gaz's birthday.
Wait a minute. So your daughter and her partner both have birthdays in the same week?
Yeah.
That's convenient. But I want my own party.
They had two parties. Sure.
Two cakes, two parties.
Yeah, absolutely,
blues,
absolutely. We went
clowns.
out to a very nice restaurant this week, but other than that, I'm starting to wonder whether my iPad is getting a little bit old now. I must have a look. I can't remember when I bought it, be honest with you. I must have had it for 7 years. I'm not sure
And
now.
it's probably out of date.
Well, no, it's not out of date. It still updates itself, and it's still going well, but, perhaps 7 years is pushing it. I can't have had
Well,
it that
it
long.
depends. Number one, it depends what you use it for, and number two, does it still do the thing that you bought it for originally?
It does, but charging is starting to get a bit flaky.
Okay, okay,
Mm,
yeah, that's a problem.
but I'm not sure it's as old as I've just hinted. I'll have to have a look anyway at some point. Um, but it's always nice to get new stuff, isn't it? So, I
Yeah.
mean, or I could either get an iPad because I do use it a lot to do stuff. Like I use numbers on it, and I
Mhm.
watch YouTube videos on it, and I do lots of content on it. I use it for the web, all the sorts of stuff. Maybe I should go for something a little bit more visual, Guy. What do you reckon?
Huh.
Perhaps we could have a chat about that later, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Is Apple coming out with something new? What?
I
Huh.
think it's already out, to be honest with you.
I haven't heard
Anyway,
anything.
we might get a little bit about it later on, and we might get a very small bit about it in Gaz's snippets. Ding ding dong.
Yeah, I didn't see that
Right.
coming.
I d very good. Boom, boom. You're here a week. Um, Not quite so many snippets this week, so we might flip through these fairly quickly. Apple apparently has boosted its autonomous vehicle testers. Now, I don't get the second half of this statement. Right. So the first part, Apple boosts autonomous vehicle testers as Apple Car project remains stalled. But but
What?
but
What? What?
wait, what? Wait, what? Or, as a famous character would say, "What are you talking about, Willis?"
Nice callback. No one will understand it, but
No, I
nice
know no one
callback.
will understand it, but there you go. I like to do call outs for you or callbacks for you.
Nice. Nice.
Um, Apple are closing Siri data operations office in San Diego, impacting 121 employees. Just thought I'd let you know that. That's no response from his lordship.
Well, it sucks to be them, I guess.
Apple is preparing to split the App Store in two. That's TWO, in the coming weeks ahead of the European Union requirements that will force Apple to enable app sideloading in the region.
Before you go any further,
No, carry on.
everyone who is thinking about downloading and installing third-party apps through a different app store, wait about a month or two before you actually do it for your own good, because you have no idea what's going to be coming down the pike. Go ahead.
We're going to
Sorry.
leave it at that. We'll leave it at that and wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Apple apparently has become the top volume seller of smartphones. Now, that is quite impressive. Apparently, they have a worldwide share, that we're talking not just America, a worldwide share commanding 20% of the market in 2023. And Samsung ended the year with
That's a good buy.
19.4%. Yeah, so that's pretty impressive, I'd say. Apple has demanded $73 million in the epic legal expenses.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Tim McSweeney.
I thought that would make
Not that honestly, I'm glad Apple is suing them for legal, which they'll never get. They'll never get it. But I think that it was mostly kind of an FU to Tim McSweeney is the only reason why they're doing this. And good on Apple. Good on Apple. Tim McSweeney, go do something to yourself that I can't say on this show.
Anyway, the DOJ antitrust lawsuit against Apple is expected as soon as March. I just thought we needed something to move us on there.
Yeah.
More on this story in a little bit. Spotify calls Apple's
The
20%
DOJ
cut.
are morons? Is that what you said?
I didn't say that at all. I said more on this
Oh, okay.
story.
Oh,
More
more
on this
on.
on
Okay,
this
sorry, I
story.
misheard you, Gaz.
Yes, I won't be coming to America anytime soon. Um, you're wanting to come in for a holiday,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you? Right.
I'm sorry. You called us what again? No, no, that was Guy. Guy did that.
Yeah, the person I'm going to see, I could take you to him.
Yeah, he's right there. He can't move
Um,
that fast right now. He's easy to catch.
More on this story in a little bit.
Oh,
Spotify
okay.
calls Apple's 20% cut of purchases outside the App Store outrageous and has urged the EU to act swiftly. They've spelled this SWITFTLY. That's swiftly. Swiftly. I
Yeah.
like it. More on that in a bit anyway. Netflix isn't making an app for the Apple Vision Pro, and it
Nope.
won't let you run its iPad app either. Not quite sure what that means. I'm sure you can still play
On and on and on and on
uh, Netflix on your
on
iPad,
Apple.
can't you? Well, yeah, but to be perfectly honest with you, who cares? Netflix, they've
It's a big
gone
deal.
now. Yeah,
But
they've gone.
there's going to be more on that later.
Apple banned from selling watches in the US with blood oxygen sensor. More on that in a second, because that story just kept evolving and going round and evolving. Apple is now selling the Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2 with disabled blood oxygen monitor. More on that in a little bit, I think. Apple Mac sales have made a comeback in Q4 sales by being up 2% year on year, Guy.
Wow, 2%?
2%.
It's like it's a whole new company.
That's probably quite a lot of money still.
Yeah,
Apple's
it is. It
apps.
is. And this is why Gaz does not let me know what his snippets are before we start to get those kinds of reactions from me.
Apple's App Store rule changes draw sharp rebuke from critics. So, Apple has updated its long-standing App Store guidelines, giving developers the option to let users make an in-app purchases for iOS apps outside of its App Store. But the changes still haven't won over one of the company's longtime critics. From a report under the new rules, app developers can provide customers with links to third-party purchase options for their apps, but they must still pay Apple fees of either 12 or 27%.
So what's the
As I said
difference?
earlier, Spotify isn't one of Apple's biggest critics, or is one of Apple's biggest critics, isn't a fan.
Well, because they want it both ways. They want to use Apple's payment system without giving Apple anything back. They don't want to let Apple wet their beak.
No, but this
So
is outside of the system.
I know. Well, you provide a link to a browser or some other kind of service to pay for it. Apple doesn't get that. But if you're still doing it through the app itself, even if you're going to a third-party payment system, that's still within Apple's wheelhouse. So, don't do that. Just send them someplace else outside of the app and outside of Apple's control, and you get all the monies. You get all the monies. Stop whining. You got what you wanted. You got what you asked for. You just wanted
Yeah,
both ways. Screw
they
you.
didn't got yeah, they got something they didn't want, but they got something because they asked for it, and perhaps they shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Apple are poised to retake the title of the world's most valuable company from Microsoft. Guy, I mentioned that Microsoft had got it, and I just thought I'd comment because I know that Guy's hanging himself at the moment. This is a bit UK orientated. Celebrity trainer Joe Wicks has made a
him.
guest appearance on Apple Fitness Plus. Now, Joe Wicks became famous during lockdown over here in the UK. He kind of come out of nowhere and was on, I think he did some YouTube fitness stuff, and his name was just shoved around anywhere. I think basically he'd got a good name, Joe Wicks, right?
Yeah.
So That's what,
Easy to remember.
easy to remember. That's why,
Yeah.
I mean, he did some good
Well,
fitness.
you know
as well.
how many American Apple fitness people I can name? Oh my God. Absolutely none.
Well, I think most people would recognize the name Joe Wicks in the UK for sure. So, like most people would recognize the name Gazmaz, but we'll move on. Apple Vision
Guy,
Pro
not so much.
Apple Apple Vision Pro delivery dates slipped to mid-March. Dum, dum,
Wait a minute. I thought
dum.
it was February 2nd.
No, so these are pre-orders, Guy.
Yeah, no, the pre-orders started on the 19th of January.
Correct.
For delivery, I thought on February 2nd, but now you're saying that it's all the way to mid-March.
You just don't remember, do you? That means they've got
what?
so many orders, their orders are slipping.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
They'll fulfill the Feb 2nd, and then obviously they've got to start fulfilling more orders than they were anticipated, and now those orders are slipping to mid-March.
Yeah. Artificial unavailability. Excuse me.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Was that something about unofficial and something about availability? Maybe not.
No. That wasn't what I was saying at all. I was just coughing. Cough.
Okay.
See?
Apparently, the Apple Vision Pro weighs almost as much as a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And how many people do you see walking around with one of them on their heads?
Well, since it wasn't meant for that, I would say none.
Okay. Apple has removed the blood oxygen feature on the website. Wonder why. Apple Vision Pro repairs could cost up to $2,400 without Apple Care Plus. So here's a point. Maybe you want to get Apple Care Plus when you get the Apple Vision Pro. I mean, it probably only costs you an extra £1,000 over the life of the product.
Well, and here's the thing. The thing costs $3,500 to start. You might want to get some kind of extra protection for something like that. Okay, never mind. Off the soapbox.
Massimo CEO has claimed that Apple Watch users are better off without Apple's blood oxygen tool. Wonder why you're saying that.
Except for people that need it.
Belkin and Spigen have already debuted Apple Vision Pro accessories. Apple offers to... I'm only saying what I'm seeing in the stories, guy.
I know.
Apple offers to open the NFC payment technology to third-party developers in Europe. We shall see how that goes on. In fact, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. That should be okay, actually. Historically, the use of Apple's NFC chip in phones and Apple Watches for payments has been exclusively utilized by Apple Pay, limiting the ability of banks and other financial services to offer their own contactless payment solutions on Apple's platform. In a statement, Apple have said, "We have offered commitments to provide third-party developers in the European Economic Area with an option that will enable their users to make NFC contact payments from within their iOS apps, separate
as
from
long as
Apple
it doesn't
Pay
cost
and
Apple
Apple Wallet."
anything.
No.
As long as it doesn't cost Apple anything, what's the big deal?
Shouldn't do. And finally, Guy, 2 Apple stores are permanently closing today. As we've mentioned previously, the Apple's Infinite Loop store and apparently the Royal Hawaiian retail stores.
Really? All of them?
What do you mean all of them? I said 2.
Well, no, I know, but I think there's more than one Apple store in Hawaii. I'd have to go and look, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I just said the Royal Hawaiian retail store one in Hawaii.
Well, if you need service, apparently if you need service in Hawaii, just, get in your car, drive to California.
No one said that. It's 2 stores, right? Infinite Loop and one in Royal Hawaii. There could well be more in Hawaii. I don't know.
I'm going to check. Go ahead.
You check, you big dumbass. Anyway, while Guy's checking, that is going to be the end of Gaz's snippets. And Guy will put in a Gaz's link, which will be a link to all of the stores, if there are any, in Hawaii after the one that I've just mentioned has closed. Dum,
Okay,
dum,
there's two
diddly,
others.
dum. There you go.
There's one in Kahula and one in Ala Moana. They're all in Honolulu. So if you live on one of the other islands, TFB. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
But
that used to be the problem for Bar Bouchot's in Ireland. They didn't have an Apple store for. In
yeah.
fact, I'm not sure they still have, but they must have by now. They must have. Anyway, that's me done, guy. I'm done, guy.
Okay.
That's
Well,
it.
there are
Yeah.
there are still none in Ireland. I'm looking right now.
Well,
India and Italy, yes.
Yeah.
None in Ireland.
Ireland.
Ireland. I don't even know why I went there. Okay. Going off on our main serious topic for the week. We're going to talk a bit about serious. Why so serious?
Why
the
so
Vision Pro.
serious?
I've got that somewhere, but I'm not going to look it up. To get the elephant out of the room, Gaz, the price does begin at $3,500 for which Apple so generously gives you 256 gigs of storage. But if you want a little more, they have it available for more money. You can get up to a terabyte of storage, but that will cost you $3,900. And here's the thing. Guess, even if you wanted to, you could not buy one right now because it is only for the US market. Now, if you manage to trick a US friend into ordering one for you, you likely won't be able to return it outside of the United States. Also, and considering that the US is a multicultural society, until they update it, it only works in English, and you must have a US based Apple ID, and Apple support is only good inside of the US. So it's going to be kind of like living in Montana, the Dakotas, Vermont, West Virginia, or Wyoming, or Ireland for that matter, which don't have any Apple stores at all. Now, moving on, have glasses or readers. That adds about $100 for readers. There's like little inserts that they give you. And if you have a prescription, $150, and you can get that custom. And these lenses are inserted inside of the device. If you need to wear glasses, you pretty much need to order these inserts, as you can't wear those glasses and the Vision Pro at the same time. So you might be asking yourself, or you might be asking me, Gaz, what does the Vision Pro come with? Whoop, your audio went out.
Why was I
got
mute?
no audio. I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Right. I mean, I mute myself because I was having a crisp, and then I unmuted myself, but then it muted me again. I don't know why. I was going to ask you a question about the glasses, actually, if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I assume that's because they're expecting people are going to be using the Vision Pro. They're going to have the Vision Pro put stuff in mid-ground for them, but you can actually still see stuff beyond it. But if you're but if you're not concentrating on the stuff beyond it, because obviously you've got the Vision Pro on your head, then you've got to make sure that you get the right prescription if you need a prescription for short-sightedness according to where they're going to be. That's a nightmare. They haven't thought this through at all, have they? I mean, you go to, well, hang on a minute, let me just finish my thought process.
Yes.
You go, because when I go to the opticians, I've got driving glasses, so longer distance glasses, although my Mrs. Gaz says that they're pseudo because she puts them on and doesn't change anything. But that being aside, I also have glasses for at the computer. I don't need them for this, but if I'm doing lots of reading and lots of work, I have computers, and short-sightedness for looking down at my keyboard. Now, how do you know what the distance is that they're going to be forming these icons in front of your face? But because it's so close up anyway, I didn't think you'd perhaps need glasses for that. So I'm a bit confused about this whole glasses business, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, what if you need glasses to drive and you want to watch a movie at the same time? I mean, you're
What while you're driving
while you're driving, yeah,
with the with
with the
Vision
Vision
Pro
Pro on
on.
your head.
Oh, now I get it. That's fine. Now I get it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah, see?
Okay, sorry.
And actually this kind of goes back to the discussion we were having last week. Um, if there was an application that utilized the cameras and put the view from both cameras to someone's good eye,
Yeah. Yeah.
could I still use the Vision Pro and drive my car?
Well,
I
Tim's not
don't
got back to you
know.
yet. Tim's not got back to you yet, has he?
No.
I
Well,
think we're
he
wait
did
look
get
look
back to
gu
me.
guy, we're way early in the process of anybody using these while they're driving. Let's not go down that avenue just yet,
I
please.
know. I'm just picturing having like all this crap on your head and then a cop pulling up next to you and you just slowly turn your head toward the policeman while you're still driving the car and then slowly turn your head back.
Anyway,
Talk
what
about
does
robotic driving.
what does
Yeah.
come with the Vision Pro, guy?
Funny that you asked that, Gas. What does it come with? It comes with a dual loop band that slides onto the top of your head if the back thing isn't enough to hold it in place. A cover that kind of looks like a semi-attractive bum. For people who in the US, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
It comes with if you go to the Apple page and then look at the the case that it comes with. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Though,
Okay.
maybe that says more about me than
Probably.
Apple. Probably. It
Probably.
also
Yeah.
comes with a battery, a light seal cushion, a polishing cloth, a power adapter, and a USB-C cable. And after I wrote that, I started thinking about it. I said the ultimate burn would have been if the first gen had a lightning cable. Every other Apple device, USB-C. But this $3,500 thing you put on your head, oh, still has lightning. Gaz, are you ready for
You are
spatial
joking.
computing?
Just for
I
the
am.
listeners. You
Yeah,
you
I
are
am
joking.
joking. I am joking. Are you ready for spatial computing, Gaz?
um
Do you actually know
n-
what that
n-
means?
yes. Yes, I am.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I might be.
Well, basically, it's floating apps that you can open with hand gestures, and I think we can all think of some, and eye movements, apparently. And how that would work with somebody with monovision, I don't know. But since I don't have $3,500 that I could throw at one of these things, I'm not going to be able to find out unless I go to the Apple Store. It comes with lots of apps. Okay, only a handful of apps will be available on launch. All the Apple apps, of course. For content consumption, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Max, which includes HBO, Paramount
Okay.
Plus, and others. But there are some, as you were talking about in snippets, there are some significant missing ones, Gaz, including Netflix, because, they can't lose enough subscribers. So, they want to accelerate that process.
Yeah, well, good on them.
YouTube, yeah, sure. And Spotify. Now, they can all still be accessed through web portals, well, except for Netflix or iPad apps, but that's not quite an optimum experience. And there's also some question, go figure, about whether Meta will add apps for Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. Not a huge surprise about their waffling, since they also sell a competing device, the Meta Quest. Other services like DoorDash and Lyft, though not so much DoorDash, but Lyft. Can you imagine you call for a Lyft driver and they show up and you've got this big thing on your head? They'd be like, nope, and just keep driving down the road. Uh, they've also not committed to making apps for a device that could initially live or die based on content consumption. These missing apps could be, but not necessarily, a serious blow to the Vision Pro. of course, the first batch, I put here, I actually wrote this, Gaz, will likely sell out. Apparently, that's already happened. So that people with a lot of disposable income can be seen having one, or those who want it to seem like they have a lot of disposable income. Naturally, a lot of developers will also be the first to get one if they're serious about the platform. But what will it mean going forward as eventual less expensive versions come out? Will these applications that aren't currently available change their mind? I could see, because I mean, if you're talking about YouTube, that's not just YouTube. That could potentially be the entire Alphabet series of apps. And if Google doesn't support it beyond, just not supporting it for YouTube, that could be a significant blow. What do you think?
Uh, 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 I just don't get it, Guy. I just don't get it
What,
because
the whole thing, or
no, the whole thing. I just think I think it is a flop in action. To be perfectly honest with you, I really
the
do
Vision
think it's
Pro?
a flop. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a flop. We're seeing it as it plays out. To be honest with you, it'll probably it's got to get a lot smaller. That's the issue. It's just they're just too big and bulky. I've not bothered. I know that I think
And less
I've
expensive.
I've heard a few people that have got the Meta Quests, but just how much usage they've got out of them and what they're using them for, they've probably paid the right price. But this at this cost, it's got to have some killer process which makes people want to use it. And I don't know what that process is. Let's not talk about killer apps. That's just rubbish. Killer apps is rubbish. It's a killer process which people want to use it for to do things.
Yeah, that can
And,
only
and
be done,
yeah, and
kind of
that
thing.
I just don't know what that is because I was thinking about this. YouTube, right? Okay, I use YouTube on my iPad. So
Mhm.
Mrs. Gaz wants to watch something on the TV. I don't want to bugger off somewhere else to watch YouTube. I'll sit there, I'll pop me beats in, and
Yeah,
I can
or
sit with one
Bluetooth headphones.
with one ear open still in case Mrs. Gaz says, something to me that I need to respond to. But actually,
That's see, wise. That makes you a wise man, because you don't want to be one of those husbands that's like, "Did you say something?" That is such a bad move. That will put you in the doghouse. Now, I know this has nothing to do with tech. This is a tip for newly married men. Women don't have to listen to you, okay? But God forbid you don't hear something that they say to you, because they will make you pay.
Now,
Okay? All
now,
right. Sorry.
actually,
Move
if
on.
if Vision Pro can give me a little Mrs. Gaz is talking to
Yeah.
you, and
You better
then
turn
great,
and
then
look.
yes, you
Yeah.
pretend you're paying attention, and
Yeah.
here's what she said.
Oh,
Great,
killer app, Gaz.
killer
Killer
process,
application.
killer
Killer
process.
process. When it tells you that your wife is talking to you, you better pay attention. When you turn and look at your wife, the little animated eyes start to put on that, "Oh, what is it, dear?" kind of look. But actually in the back, you're like, "Oh, good God, what is it now?" But you don't want to express that to your wife. So the little animated eyes in the Vision Pro are giving that concerned look.
Yeah, yeah.
There.
So there you go. But
Killer process.
it also that process also actually picks up what she was saying and gives it to you because you may have missed part of it and you
And
don't want to get the
translates it.
message wrong. You don't want to get and
Yeah.
translates what the actual question really is. Hey, we
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
So Apple, if you can produce that process,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, especially men, that's going to want to buy that so that Mrs can sit
Yeah.
and watch a TV program that
3,500,
she loves
cheap at
so
twice
much.
the price.
You can still sit there and hold her hand while you're doing something else on your Vision Pro and still be reactive when she's asking you a question.
Yeah, that you missed. And the Vision Pro is like, "Okay, I'm going to take that from English or whatever language to women speak."
You're
Okay?
getting in trouble now. Boy, you're
No, no,
getting
no,
in
no.
trouble.
No, here's the thing, Gaz. Men are very simple creatures.
We are. We are.
We are.
Yes, we are.
So
Yeah.
typically, when you ask a man a question, they will answer that question
You've got to
with
dumb
as
it
few
down.
words as they possibly can. You ask a woman that same question, and you might get a similar answer, but that might not necessarily be what they mean. So, if the
You
Vision
you
Pro,
are digging this hole.
I am,
I'm
I
gonna
am, I
show
am
you.
so well. It's too late. I've already dug the hole.
You,
If
it's
it could
now not a
translate
hole.
it,
It's becoming a ditch.
it is. Oh, ditch. We're talking asteroid from deep space.
You keep going, and it will be. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Translate it into what they
It's
actually mean,
it's. Oh my god!
and you will sell 1 billion of these things.
You're in trouble. If
No,
there are
women
any,
are very complicated people. So much more so.
that's not
Because
helping.
men are
Hey,
stupid.
that's not helping. That's not helping. Stop while
Probably
you're not
not.
even ahead. Stop while
Oh,
you're not even
I
ahead.
was never ahead, Gaz. And
For
if
any
you
of
want
my
to respond to any of this, we'll have
for
contact information
for
later
any
on.
of our female listeners, I daren't apologize because there's no
No,
point.
there's no point. There's no point.
Yeah, I agree. But let's get back on track.
Good luck.
Having found the process which is going to sell it,
Yeah.
I still don't
That one
get
I
what
was
it's
just
for.
talking about.
Yeah, I still don't get what it's for. I really
No.
don't.
But that would sell a lot. Would you agree?
I'm going to nod my head to move on. Oh, dear.
It's time for Gaz's tip.
Now,
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think I've said this before. I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
But if you're on a web page, very often you want to capture the whole web page on your phone. So you almost want a scrolling screenshot when you do a screen capture. So you can do this actually quite easily, but you may not have spotted what it is exactly. So when you do your screen capture option, which can vary on phones, I have to do the side button and the 2 side buttons. I think I can't remember now. Anyway, however you do a screen capture on your iOS device, once you've done that and you then click on that little the little option that it gives in the bottom left hand corner, the preview, before it disappears, if you click on it and you choose at the top of that little preview, it says, I think it says normal, it says something and full page. So if you click the full page, you will then see basically the full page, and you can scroll up and down the full page on that preview still. Because there's a little scroll bar which appears on the right hand side. And so you can still annotate if you still want to annotate at this point, because it still gives you those options to be able to annotate before saving it. But that, I think, is something which I always forget about it. And that's why I wanted to bring the tip up, because there are times, and I think, I can't capture the full thing. I've got to do a print to somewhere, and then I can't do it on. I'll go to the web page on my Mac and do it. No, Gaz, there's a much easier way. Just click on the full page and it will actually save the full page of that website that you're on, making it much easier to do a capture. Yes.
Nice.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Had to find it, sorry.
Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
There we go. Okay. I almost hesitate to go to this next part of the show. Oh, wait, no, not yet. We don't have any feedback this week. Hopefully there'll be some next week that isn't locked and loaded to fire at my head. No picks this week. if you do any of those things, you will get a woo T. And if you don't know what a woo T is, it's a big W, big O, big O, big tie, big T, big little I, little E, exclamation mark.
Is that a TIE fighter?
And
you
somewhere in
mentioned
there it spells Woody. Yeah. So if you would like to
You're completely,
if you
you've
would like
thrown
to
yourself.
contribute to keep this show going,
Oh,
you
wow.
can go. I know it's kind of like, where you going, guy? You can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go and buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/MacParrot. Or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. Here's the part I'm really, really hesitating to talk about, Gaz. If people wanted to contact you and say, what the hell was Guy talking about? And how can we find him and do terrible things to him? How would they do that?
Well, Guy, it's ever so easy because
his name was Guy.
Now, I love it. I love it. Send an email to Gaz, G-A-Z, at mymac.com. Or you can contact me on lots of socials, all the socials that are out there at the moment that are being used, Threads, Mastodon, Counter Social, X, Instagram, as Gazmaz, G-A-Z-M-A-Z.
Cars.
Yeah. Keep saying cars. You can also contact both Guy and myself on X still as X/Guy and Gaz, GUYANDGAZ.
Cars.
Now, you can also send an email to feedback, FWDBACK at mymac.com. So.
Oh, yeah.
Guy.
That's what I hear a lot.
Do we know it was a guy?
I
like to go with Guy.
Guy!
You remember Guy?
Do they?
You're Guy. You're Guy. It's you. Yeah. I love you.
Look at this guy. I know that guy.
Yeah.
You think I'm crazy, don't you?
Guy? Get out of my brain hole!
Guy.
I like that one.
Guy, I need you to listen to me. Guy, we need to talk.
Yeah,
Wait, you
like about 20 minutes ago.
I'm going to play that one again.
Guy.
Better than that guy. You can do so much better than that guy. I don't know who this guy is.
Not hard.
You said it, Guy. Thanks, Guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
welcome to the Guy Podcast.
Damn right. I need to find out if that's still going. And if it isn't, do it myself.
If you want.
An email from Guy.
No foolin'.
How would they do it?
Do I really want to go through with this? I think is the question that I am asking myself right now.
Well, if you don't,
Okay, the
I
hell with
will.
No. You can contact me by sending an email to. Wait, hold on. There he is.
I messed it up.
Hold on. We'll do it again. Here we go. If you want to send me an email, you can send that to at mymac.com. And that's a single U, single Y. You can also find me over there on the X Twitter things as both Mac Parrot and Vert Shark. I am also on a bunch of the socials, some of which are so bizarre that I don't go to them anymore. I won't say which ones those are. But you can find me on almost all of them as Mac Parrot. And we have oh my God, do I do this? Yes, we have a Google Voice number, Gaz. We do. Do you know what that number is?
I do. Do you want me to tell everybody? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to tell everybody. If you want to ring that number and give Guy a piece of your mind about how the differences between men and women are not quite the way he portrayed it, You can call 703 828 4677. That number, one more time, 703 828 4677.
I think that's gonna get a bit of a workout this week, but we will see.
Maybe.
We will see. Okay. All kidding and potentially insulting things aside to everyone, we really do appreciate the fact that you used to listen to the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly, greatly appreciated, and we hope you will stay with us and realize that we're just kidding. We're just kidding.
We're not
mostly.
so bad.
We are not so bad. And no, I won't go into that either. With that having said, I think Gaz is good enough. Not so much Guy. I think Gaz is smart enough. Not so much Guy. And that doggone it, Wilf, woof, woof, Wilf, woof, woof. That amazing dog likes everyone except for Guy.
No, he likes Guy.
He does. He's not discriminating.
I was going to tell a time traveling joke, but you didn't like it, Guy. End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.